If you're like me and you have been severely missing the double, I have some recommendations for you of C dramas to pick up and start watching next just to fill that gaping hole in your heart. This video is kind of more for me because, yeah, I'm still reeling from being a huge lover of the double, which just finished airing, and I've been chronicling all of my feelings and all of my love and how much I was so completely immersed in the chemistry of the two leads. So, yeah, I needed to make something just as a kickback so there's some shows that I can get into and just kind of fill that gap. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Heart podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and so much more. The double definitely left a big gaping hole in my heart as far as costume period dramas in the C-drama land. I really like that show. I talk about it a lot. So today's podcast is going to be just some recommendations of a few shows that I think are similar in beats. Some I am currently watching and others that I have already completed. And definitely I am open to suggestions as well because I need my fix. So I do have some notes on me just on my phone. First off the bat, and I don't really think this should be a surprise to anyone that is heavily into watching C-dramas, is Love Like the Galaxy. This is a remarkable C-drama. It is very well revered, very well loved. It is extremely popular, highly rated, and for good reason. It also happens to star two of my favorite C-drama actors, Xiao Le and Leo Wu, or Wu Lei. And I think this is such a perfect companion piece. Is it exactly same in tone as the double? No, but they're both big adventure period costume pieces. I actually think Ling Buyi and Duke Su are very similar as far as generals and their fighting styles and how they are introduced as male love interests to their female counterparts of Shang and of Ali, respectively. I think Shang and her basically dancing around in that marketplace and Ling Buyi falling in love from first sight, and the same thing kind of with Duke Su, who's watching Ali from afar long before everything that happened with her husband. I think that too, their battle styles, their way that they are so fiercely protective to the women that they love that they will go to the edge of hell and back. I even think with the iconic blood dripping down their faces shots that both General Ling and Duke Su have as well. They're very similar in archetypes. I would say Duke Su is a little bit more flirty, and he definitely is a little bit more flamboyant at times and with his entrances. But I do think even Ling Buyi, he had his little moments of just being eccentric, and I feel both of the female lead characters, both Ali and Shang, they were very brilliant and they were key strategists, and they could fast talk their way out of so many dire scenarios and situations. And I love that what both male leads loved about the female leads is their intelligence and how they move through the world, and that their ways of strategizing and being political strategists and even being able to at times have to defend themselves, they had a lot of admiration. So I feel like the two dramas really match up really well in pairings. So definitely Love Like the Galaxy. It wouldn't be right for me to make a video of this nature and not mention that show. Another one that happens to also star Xiao Le and Leo Wu is The Long Ballad. I have done podcasts about this drama as well, and it's also, of course, a costume period piece. It also stars Delebra, and she is phenomenal in this. I think that it pairs itself really nicely with the double, and it kind of plays into the theme of the character that Delebra plays, Changji. She has to disguise herself in the show as well to seek revenge for her family. And in The Long Ballad, she has to disguise herself as essentially a male soldier because her entire family and kingdom is like wiped out in the blink of an eye, and she is in search, of course, of truth and justice, and it turns out to a much bigger political mess than she anticipated, and there is just so many players that turn out to be who they really say they are but not. And I think that her and the relationship with General Sun, who is played by Leo Wu as well, is fascinating, and he also happens to really enjoy how her intelligence is and how she is physically amazing in battle, and just a level of courage and strength and just pure tenacity in finding justice by any stretch of the means, no matter what, and how much she happens to endanger herself in this really messy political chessboard, or go board, if you want to say. The Long Ballad is definitely beautifully shot. It has incredible set design, costume design. There's little animated pieces throughout the show as well, which I thought was a unique twist to kind of make the show visually stand out. I know that the show technically has a bit of a controversial ending to it, but I do think the chemistry between Deliberate and Leo Wu makes it well worth it, and the vibes are very similar, in my opinion, to the double, and I think it pairs really nicely as well. Another one that actually is currently airing that I think is a good one to jump into if you just freshly finished a double is Are You the One? This one stars Wang, and I think it pairs nicely because she is also a very cunning strategist, just like Ali. In this show, I haven't gotten that far into it as of yet, but Lu Miantang was injured after like an attack on her village and was rescued by a lord. She supposedly in the show, at least in the first few episodes, has amnesia, and she only really remembers events leading up to her wedding. She's essentially held captive by this lord that rescued her from the attack, and she's held captive, and this lord is technically taking advantage of the fact that she has quote-unquote memory loss and is pretending to be her husband, who is his actual enemy, who he's after, and kind of using her as a bait piece to lure him out. But this character in particular, there's something not quite right, and I do believe that she knows a lot more than she lets on, and she absolutely is very cunning like Ali. And the actress, I think, does a really great job in pretending to be really doe-eyed and innocent while all these political machinations are kind of whirling in her brain. You can see how she kind of views and scans different scenarios, and you can tell that there's just a lot of work going on undercover, and that reminds me a lot of Ali as well. I'm very early into this show, so it could have delved into a lot more, but I think just as something as a pickup right after the double, I think Are You the One so far is kind of soothing the burn that the double has left me. So there's that choice as well. Another one I think that would pair really nicely, and I believe it has really similar vibes to all of these shows, not even just the double, but I think it is in tandem with everything else, and it's a costume period drama that also aired earlier this year, is Blossoms in Adversity. And it actually stars Xingyue, who I adore, and she was in Lighter and Princess, which is my favorite modern C-drama ever. Like, it's basically one notch below Hidden Love. And if you know me and know my podcast at all, I have talked and waxed poetic about Hidden Love so damn much, and I'm still looking for the modern C-drama equivalent of it. But I really, really love Lighter and Princess, and I did a few podcast episodes about it in like as well. I can give you like a quick synopsis of the show. I haven't gotten too far into it, but she in the show plays like the female daughter of the Hua family. She is expected to keep them under wraps and play the good partner, the good wife to her intended husband that we meet in the very first episode. That kind of all changes her family's reputation takes a huge nosedive, and then all of a sudden she has to really step up to the plate and really play into her intelligence and wits because the playing field has completely changed. And we also meet another interesting, mysterious male suitor that I believe will be her actual love interest. What I like so far about Blossoms in Adversity is it has a really similar type of setup scene as Xiao Shang in Love Like the Galaxy, where, you know, the heroine is kind of hidden in a carriage and she's able to flex her intelligence in front of her love interest. And in this case, she's flexing her intelligence in front of her husband to be and the actual eventual love interest while her identity is hidden. And it kind of reminds me of like how Xiao Shang and General Ling kind of first met, and you could see that his mind starts twirling and he's like, there's something different about this girl. But I think she also lends herself really nicely to Ali from the double, and so far I just enjoy the energy from the show, and I actually think the musical scoring is a lot more fun. It has definitely like a modern edge to it, and that's how I kind of felt about the double. I thought the scoring was impeccable, and I also thought the show was really beautifully filmed, and it had a really interesting color palette that they really played to their strengths in a double, and I see that already in Blossoms and Adversity. So I actually think it's a really good lateral move to go to watch next as well. So those are basically my suggestions for C-dramas to pick up next after the double. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there dramas that you think that have been currently airing or have recently aired that can match up to the double? Or there's some other classics in the vault that you believe that I should include in the potential watch list of those that are obsessed with the double and are like breathing the double like I am? Feel free, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, to leave suggestions down below in the comment section on YouTube. And definitely, if you're listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts as well, you can interact with those platforms, you can leave suggestions as well. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in and putting up with my incessant obsession with this show. And until the next podcast, bye.